And we're live. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nikki Smokestrom, and my co-host Bobby. You are listening to the Smoke Show. Today is unfortunately Wash It Wednesday. So anytime we have an ugly loss, we're just gonna wash that shit. So we're gonna get our final thoughts out about the Chargers game because honestly, I'm over it. I'm tired of talking about it, but I think it's in our best interest to just get our last thoughts and truly just express our feelings about the team, where we're at, yada, yada, yada. And then we'll get into the Buffalo game. So, Bobby, I'll start with you, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, enough time has passed. You're right. I'm not just thinking about it every day. Sunday sucked. Monday sucked, but we're washing it. We're here. Looking back on it, there's some adjustments that need to be made, man. And that's Tua and McDaniel mainly. I think they need to learn how to beat that inside leverage that the Chargers played all game. They need to take some checkdowns, some quicker routes. They need to be productive on first down because last game it was deep shot, deep shot, deep shot. 3rd and 10, you're fucked. You punt the ball. So I think that there's a ton of learning experiences that can come with it. And I think McDaniel had a quote today that summed it up pretty good. He was talking about the losing streak we had earlier in the season where we lost 3 in a row. He pretty much said that losing streaks either going to make or break you. And that's what it's going to do. The first time it made them a better team. Now you're on another slide, and how are you going to respond to that slide? If you're going to go crawl and be a bitch, you're not going to do anything. But if you got to respond, bro. Bottom line.
Here's the thing. The 3-game losing streak that happened earlier, you didn't have your starting quarterback.
Agreed.
You didn't have your starting left tackle. You didn't have your starting cornerback in Xavier Howard. So I believe it's a lot easier to bounce back when you get your quarterback and your left tackle and your cornerback. I believe it makes it a lot easier to bounce back, especially against the teams that we played after those 3 losses. But this losing streak, it just feels different because the offense doesn't look explosive. There wasn't a time where I felt like we were truly going to win that game. Now, there was a moment where we had an opportunity to take the lead, but did I believe in my heart that we had any business even being in that game against San Fran or LA? Absolutely not. But I had that feeling against the Jets. I had that feeling against the Minnesota Vikings. I had that feeling against the Bengals until Tua got knocked out. I didn't really have that. Now, we had a chance. We had a drive to take the lead, and then we didn't capitalize, and then poof. But just the way that the offense has looked the last 2 weeks, it's extremely discouraging, especially when you have a short week and you're flying to 25-degree Buffalo. It's just terrible, and it's at the worst time of the year. Like, this is where the playoffs are on the line. This is where I've spent the last 5 years of my life on this ESPN playoff simulator, and I'm pressing buttons trying to find out the perfect scenario that's going to get the Dolphins into the playoffs. So the timing of the losing streak is brutal, and then the opponent that you play next is 10-3 and in first place in the AFC East, and they're trying to get the 1 seed in the AFC, and then you have to come back home, play Aaron Rodgers, go back to Foxborough, and then come back home and play a good Jets team. So I agree with you, though. You're either going to bounce back or you're going to roll over like a bitch. And we're going to find out exactly what this team is going to do against the Buffalo Bills. But as for the offense and everything I've seen, I've been extremely disappointed. And I think it's let down the whole fan base because, look, we both expected, you and I both said we were going to go to Cali and at least win 1 game. And we didn't, and that's fine. It's just the way that we've lost and the way that we've looked and how disappointing and how we really don't even look like the same football team from the last 5 to 8 weeks. And it's all coming at a time where people are like, okay, you're finally getting your step up in competition. How are you going to perform? And then you go out there and lay 2 absolute goose eggs. I just don't know how you have confidence right now going into Buffalo. And maybe that's a good thing, because when I say that, I mean us as a fan base. Wake up call.
Yeah.
Right. Like us as a fan base, you could ask 100 Dolphin fans right now, and probably 95 of them will tell you that we're going to lose against Buffalo. And I am one of those 95. Straight up. Because I would feel like an idiot looking at you right now and how the Dolphins have looked the last 2 weeks, going into Buffalo on a short week and saying, yeah, we're going to beat them. Now, do I think it's going to be closer and that the Miami Dolphins will probably cover that 7.5-point spread? Absolutely. And everyone's already betting on Buffalo, and all the sharp money is coming in on the Dolphins. For you guys that don't bet, that means your average Joe is betting on the Bills, and your average professional bettor is betting on the Dolphins. So I think the game's going to be a lot closer than people anticipate. And there's obviously no moral victories, right? They don't show up in the win-loss column. But if we go out there and we compete and say like Buffalo beats us on a game-winning field goal, I'll walk away from that game like, okay, at least I have enough confidence from what I've seen against Buffalo that we could beat the Packers, beat the Patriots, and beat the Jets. But if we go out there and we get curb stomped again for the third straight week in a row against another quality opponent, I'm going to have absolutely no expectations for this football team going forward.
Yeah, bro. And I agree with the point you said where our other losing streak, our solution was getting guys back. It was just simply our best players aren't on the field right now. That's why our team isn't at the best. Now it's you need to figure out an actual solution because you got your guys out there. And I think it comes back a lot on McDaniel. And I know it's kind of going to show a lot of what McDaniel has. First-year head coach, it seems like the in-game adjustments aren't quite there yet. But a guy like him, an offensive mind, I believe he can figure it out and should figure it out. But now we need to see it. Because it's enough saying he's an offensive genius, he's the best schemer. I need to see him figure it out because it looks like there's been some glaring holes. And you're right about Buffalo, man. I've been countless times. I've taken the trip from my house to the Dolphins-Bills game in Buffalo, and I've left just miserable because we didn't even put up a fight. We didn't even put up a challenge to these Bills. We got run over and spit out. And if that happens again this week, it's just like, what are you going to do? Limp your way into the playoffs? Maybe. That's not what we want. So we got to go out there and play Buffalo hard. We got to play them competitive, and we got to make some changes, man. There's got to be some adjustments. We have to see it because right now we didn't. The last two games, we didn't see those adjustments that need to be made. So McDaniel, Tua, we need to get on the right track. We need to be efficient with the football. And I think, is it possible? Is it out of the realm of possibility for the Dolphins to go beat the Bills? No. But right now, I agree with you. I don't think that it's the likely outcome that the Dolphins go to Buffalo and win. It's just point blank.
We'll get into that more a little bit later as well, but this is a great transition for us. Shout out Cat for Life, by the way. Before I read the comment, if you guys haven't already, please hit the like button. It's going to help this video get in front of more Dolphin fans, more people in our community. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 5,000 subs. We're almost there. It's unbelievable. We've only been doing this for, 5-6 months, and we're almost at 6,000 subs. Yesterday, I was looking at all the old videos we did, like 50 views, 60 views, and now we're averaging like 2,000 viewers a show. And it's all because of you guys. So we're so grateful, so blessed to have you guys. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe. We're trying to hit 5K, and we can only do that with your help. So Cap for Life says, smoke, Bobby. You guys still ride or die. And that's the perfect transition for this Javon Holland video. Of course I ride and die for this team. I've been here for 22 years. My team hasn't won a playoff game since the year after I was born. And I'm still here. I'm still going to every single home game. Hell, this year I drive down from Orlando to go to the home games every single time. I haven't missed a freaking home game. Of course I ride and die for this team, but I'm also not going to sit here and blow smoke up their ass and be a cheerleader. I think people are starting to confuse the word fan and cheerleader. There's a difference. I'm a diehard fan for this team. I expect better. I want better. No, it's not cool for my team to go out there and get absolutely manhandled back-to-back weeks, and you want me to just sit here with my cheeks fucking smiling ear to ear like a 4-year-old on Christmas. I'm not going to do that. It's embarrassing. Yes, it's 8-5. Yes, that's a great thing. I'm happy that we're not fucking 1-7 like we were last year. I'm happy we're not the same team from 2019. But don't act like this doesn't seem familiar. Don't act like we haven't been in this situation the last 2 years. Don't act like we've had games that have huge playoff implications and we lose them and we choke and we get humiliated and act like that's okay. It's okay to say Tua's been great all year. He has. I still love Tua. He's still my quarterback. McDaniel is still my head coach. But it is okay for you to say that they shit the fucking bed the last 2 weeks. That's what they did. And you have to say it. And it's not me being a hater. It's what I saw. When Tua balls, all I did, MVP, MVP, MVP. I still think he's our quarterback. But to sit here and act like the last 2 weeks were acceptable, That's egregious to me, and I will never stand for that. And I'm a fan, but I am not a fucking cheerleader. I am not your mom. When you come home in bad game, I'm not gonna be like, oh, everything's okay. Here's your chocolate milk and your favorite ice cream. No, bro, fuck that. I'm 23. I've never seen my team win a fucking playoff game. And you old heads that have seen Dolphins win the playoff games and AFC championship games and even go to Super Bowls, you know what it takes. You know what it's like. And to just sit here and just wave your little fucking pom-poms in the air after getting humiliated back-to-back weeks. Great. I'm glad you could do that, bro. I care too much to just sit here and pretend that everything's good when it's not.
See, I agree with you. And I think as a fan, you are entitled to give criticism. You should give criticism. You shouldn't sit there and be a yes man. Yeah, we tried. We'll get them next time. No, being a fan, you have emotions. You're tied in with this team, man. So when they play bad, you get upset. You say some things. But where I think he has a bit of a point, because I do think he has a bit of a point, it's the people that go above and beyond. And we know that there's a lot of those people that come crawling out of the woodworks and saying, I told you so. I told you Tua's not the guy. I told you Tua can't succeed. I told you this team was fraud. It's those people that pile on and they're negative and they're tagging players and they're DMing players. It's those people that I agree with his point. Like, you want to be ride or die. You want your team to be successful. You'll do anything for your team. But when people start doing shit like that, it bothers me as a Dolphins fan. Even Dolphins Twitter sometimes, I have to just disconnect and not read what people are saying because I'm like, you weren't saying that 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, shit was fine. Shit was great. We were loving our lives. You have 2 bad weeks, and then all of a sudden it's like you just switch up a little bit.
They're not just bad, Bobby. Like, they are humiliating.
I get that.
And it's against the test that we wanted.
I get that.
We got humiliated twice.
And I don't think the message that he's sending is directed at people like you and I who are giving criticism. We give the flowers when the flowers are due. We give the negatives when the negatives are there. But at the end of the day, we're not saying, fuck Tua, get Tua off my team, he's terrible, like some people are. So I think that's what he's saying. He's calling those people out, saying that's fake.
We'll play the video. Let's play the video.
For sure.
I'll put his audio in the mic. Oh, come on. Don't freeze up on me now when we're live on the air. Don't fold me like that, Javon.
Come on, Apple.
Come on, Javon. Of course it's going to do that. It's playing in the background the whole time we're talking about it, and then I want to play it. Do you have it?
I can get it in 1 second. Yeah.
And then just hold it up to your microphone. I got it.
Yeah, let me talk about that shit. How are y'all gonna say to it?
And now, why are you calling me, bro? I'm on air. You know I'm fucking on air every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 5 to 6.
Yeah, let me talk about that shit. How are y'all gonna say Tua sold when he's been fucking playing his ass off the last 8 games? One bad game, and we don't even know. We gotta look at the film, bro. Like, I don't even know if it was a bad game.
That part
I know that my job is to get the ball back to the offense, but I'm behind them boys regardless. Y'all fans be so quick to switch up. Like, come on, man. That's so lame. Y'all be so quick to switch up on our team. Like, how you want to, like, that is so crazy to me. Like, yeah, you loyal fans, like, cool. But then y'all just switch up dumb quick. And y'all hate on us. Like, bruh, I thought y'all was supposed to be ride or die or something. Nah, y'all be switching up on us. That should be lame.
We're ride or die. We are ride or die. And I'm not saying, hey, man, like, Tua sucks. He's the worst quarterback of all time. But Tua sucked the last 2 weeks.
And it
wasn't just one game. It was 2 games. That's why it's a problem. When Tua had a shitty game against the Niners, what did me and you come up here and say? We told everyone, don't worry about it. We said all he did was have an off game. He's fine. We told everyone after the Niners game, we couldn't wait for Sunday night against the Chargers because we knew Tua was going to bounce back. We were wrong. That's why it's a problem, is because it's been back-to-back games.
Yeah, and young bucks, old goats, ride or die. We definitely been riding or dying, but we've been dying more than anything. Go ahead with the super. Thank you, Patrick, for the super.
Shout out Patrick for the super chat. Tua can't do post-snap progressions, and we never could. Maybe, I don't know. And we can't run, but let's just go play. You got to be able to run the football this week. That's all I'm going to say.
Definitely. Definitely have to be able to run the football game or run the football. But I don't know, man. I think his message was for more of the extreme fans that come out of the woodwork and the Tua haters and trolls, because we talked about it a billion times.
Bobby, but to be fair, though, I mean, there was a Dolphins receipt account calling everyone out for their take on Tua, and then they come out of the woodwork, and now all of a sudden, you got to play the double-edged sword.
Oh, it definitely goes both ways.
You die by the sword. It goes both ways.
How many times have we talked about it, bro? He's the most polarizing player in the world. You could have 100 Dolphins fans sit in a room, watch Tua play, and you could have 100 different opinions. And that's just Dolphins Twitter. That's just Tua. But the real one's got his back. I don't care who lines up at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. I will ride or die for that guy. I will go to war for that guy. Might I critique him if he plays bad after? Sure. But when he goes out and plays great, guess what? How we're starting the show the next day. So I get it. I don't think it's directed at us, but I do think some other people, it bothers me sometimes. And as a player, he's got to understand that that's just how fans are in the same token. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing that kind of upsets me too, though, is like we came up here. We said Tua was a top 10 guy. We said he's a top 10 guy. We said he was playing like a top 5 quarterback. And when you are a top 5, top 10 quarterback, there's no excuses to be made. Like, I don't like when Tua goes out there and has a 15 QBR and people want to scream bloody hell at the rest of the team and not hold their guy accountable. I am more than okay with saying Tua's a top 10 guy, but he's looked like absolute dog shit the last 2 weeks. That's being legit. If Patrick Mahomes went out there and did that, we would be like, yo, this guy's playing like shit. Just like we did with Justin Herbert against the Raiders in the week before and Joe Burrow earlier in the season, and we were all making fun of him and the Bengals early in the season. And same when Josh Allen had that skid against the Jets and the Vikings. Like, we were dragging them. They weren't pointing the finger at their offensive line or their left tackle not playing or this and that. They're pointing the finger at their quarterback. That's what it is. That's what you are.
Yep.
You are the quarterback of an NFL football team. You are the face of the franchise. You are the most polarizing player that the Dolphins have had in the last 20 years. And you should be held accountable. And
Definitely.
Point blank period. He should be held accountable for the success which he was. I think me and you sat up here and said he was the biggest reason why we were winning. And that is a true fact. And it is also a fact, at least in my opinion, that he is the main reason why we're losing. That and Mike McDaniel.
Both are true. Both are true. Both are factual. Both are fair. And if you call it fair all the time, it's hard to be called a homer or a hater on either way. Because when we watch the game, we sit down and then we come on here and we talk about what we saw. And I think that's the most fair way to do it. But the people that are too stubborn to change opinions or be able to see both sides, that's where it becomes an issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you watch a bad game and you're just sitting there saying, "Oh, well, it was the defense. If the defense says this," it's like you got to call it how you see it. And that's what we're going to sit up here and do on the Smoke Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we are Ride or Die Javon. Look at the jersey. It's my guy right there, and it always will be. Fins on top forever, but it is what it is. Holland needs to catch a pick.
62 people watching live. If you guys haven't already, please hit the like button, share it with some friends, DM it to some people, retweet the tweet on Twitter. Let's get some more people in here. Let's get that thing blown up. Please, please, please hit the like button. It's free. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you could super chat us, or you could just hit us up on Cash App or Venmo at Nikki Smokes 1. So we talked about Javon. We got over the Chargers game. Let's get into a little Bills preview, Bobby. Now, you're the guy who actually lives in Rochester, and you genuinely believe that there's not going to be snow on Saturday. Why is that?
I don't know. Just everything I see, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a ton of snow Saturday. There might be a little period of the game where it snows. I don't see it affecting it too much. And the media likes to sell a snow game, man. Who doesn't love a snow game as a watcher? It's like, yo, there's going to be 7 inches of snow during this game. For me, that's like, yo, I must watch this game. I can't wait to watch this game. So that's how they're going to sell it. But I mean, I've been up here. I've been checking weather all the time. It seems like if it's going to snow, it might be Friday more. But I think it could snow Saturday. And Tracy in the comments brings up a good point. It is the lake effect. So I know you guys down there in Florida, you just have rain randomly. The forecast can never tell. It is kind of a little similar with that lake effect where it can kind of just pop up and crush you. But I think it's not going to be too bad, man. I don't know. We shall see. But apparently the cold doesn't matter. They want it colder, according to the shirts I've been seeing out of the Miami camp.
Mike McDaniel's strutting around Dolphins practice with a white T-shirt that his daughter probably made for him, saying, "I wish it were colder," is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. The Miami Dolphins. Now, I sent out a tweet earlier saying, we should just fly to Buffalo today. Kiss your mom, kiss your wife, kiss your daughter, kiss your sons, hug your family, get on the fucking plane, go to Buffalo, freeze your ass off, and get used to it. Instead, the Miami Dolphins, they're practicing in Miami, and they have lowered the temperature inside the building as low as it could get to 50 degrees inside the practice facility. Bobby, I'm a Florida man, born and raised. I got alligator blood. I do not do good with the cold. I went to the Pittsburgh Steelers playoff game when we played them. I froze my fucking nuts off. My chest was frozen. I was toast, and I knew the Dolphins were toast the second I walked into that stadium, because the Steelers guys, they came out shirtless with not even a beanie on, and our guys are wearing like 8 jackets, and they just looked like frozen fish. That's what they looked like, and I knew we were absolutely toast. I think I already know what your answer to this question is, but do you think that's going to help in the slightest bit turning down the indoor practice facility to 50 degrees to get ready for Buffalo?
No. 50 degrees does not compare to outside 20 degrees or whatever it's going to be. So I don't think it's doing much. And I do agree with you where I wish they had the opportunity where we could just get to Buffalo and train. The problem is it's such a fucking tough travel spot that we got ourselves into with Cali coming all the way back. It's brutal. It's not a good spot for us to be third road game in a row, coming off the West Coast, going up north to where it's cold. It is a very bad spot for the Miami Dolphins. And no, 54 degrees inside of the bubble that they practice in, I don't think it's doing the most for them, to be honest with you.
Does it concern you that the Dolphins had heaters on against the Chargers when it was 55 degrees out?
No, put the heaters on. That's okay. That's okay if you want to be a little warmer. It's going to be a lot colder. You better bring triple the heaters. And another thing is they better bring their own heaters. Because you know how a lot of stadiums, sometimes it'll be like, well, the away bench heaters aren't working, or it'll be like the AC, the away side. The Dolphins better have trucks coming up right now with heaters out the ass to put on that sideline. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trusting those Buffalo guys to provide us with the proper heat that we need for this game.
No shot. Especially they were over there dropping of heat stroke when we played them earlier in the year. If anything, they want us to get what is it called when you like freeze to that? Frostbite?
Hypothermia, frostbite, those both
hypothermia,
work.
Yeah, whatever that cold shit is. I don't. It only gets to like 50 degrees here. That's as cold as it gets.
Me personally, I can't wait for the cold. I am looking forward to being outside in the cold for like 12 hours. Get to the stadium around noon. Game doesn't kick till 8. Beer, whiskey, probably a Wegmans sub, some burgers. Be good to go. I cannot wait. I live for those cold weather games. It's the best.
What's it like being in those games?
As a fan?
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Bills-Patriots playoff game last year where the wind chill was -20. I never at one point felt cold. If you bundle yourself properly, you take care of yourself, you'll be good to go, man. You really will. It's not that bad. I'm used to it. I've lived here my whole life. I'm used to 20 degrees. I can go outside in shorts and a T-shirt and go get my mail in 20 degrees. I'll walk back inside and feel fine. So for me, I love it, bro. Put that alcohol in your system. You're getting warm from the inside. It's a great time. It is a great time. I got some mittens. I'm feeling good about putting the mittens on this weekend. It's going to be good, dude. It's going to be good.
Thank God we have a super chat because I don't even know what to say to you. The Golf Week AM Tour of Northeast Florida. Thank you for the $10 super chat. You guys have the best Fin show on the internet. Been riding with the Dolphins since 68. Good times and bad. Keep up the great work. Thank you, brother. We appreciate that. I'm glad us young bucks can still give you some life in this Dolphins media world. So thank you, brother. We
both love golf too. Slide in those DMs. Where are we at for the golf? You know?
Yeah, you're mid. You're mid.
Ooh. We're not getting.
I definitely thought you were going to be better than you were.
I think I shot 79.
I was expecting like a 73.
And I traveled, whatever. We're gonna put that to the side.
Save me the excuses. Got 80 people watching live. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Again, we're trying to hit 5K. We can only do that with your guys' help. So please, 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 please hit the like button and please subscribe. All right, so Publix is way better than Wegmans. And the Dolphins need to send a statement. They need to go out there and pound the Buffalo Bills and then just scarf down a nice, freshly toasted pepper jack chicken tender with onions and buffalo and ranch and just smack it down right on them.
I'll give love to the pub sub.
Like,
I'll give love.
It was delicious.
It smacked. It smacked. The pub sub is delicious. I'm still riding for Wegmans. As a grocery store in general, it's not close. If you want to just base it on subs, there's a competition there. And I'd say maybe you guys have the edge. But as a grocery store, bro, we're not even
who's
talking
coming
on the same
along.
level.
Finally. Thank you.
We're not even on the same level.
We got another super chat. Shout out Angel for the $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. What's up, boys? Do you think we upset Buffalo this week? Also, do you boys think Tua and McDaniel put a game plan together to make Tua ball out? Great question.
Great.
Honest answers, or do you want me to lie to you?
Let me know. We're honest here always.
I'm honest Abe. I'm more honest than Abe Lincoln. Although I don't know if Abe was that honest, but they call him honest Abe. All right, so do I think we upset Buffalo this week? No. Also, do you boys think Tua and McDaniel will put a game plan together to make Tua ball out? I believe Tua will look better. I don't think the offense is going to look as dog shit as they have the last 2 weeks, and if they do, the season's over. At least for me. Do I think we're going to win? No. Do I think it's going to be close, competitive? 100%. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. The point spread is 7.5. Again, I am a betting man. Every mush in the world is going to be all over Buffalo. The Dolphins look terrible. They got embarrassed the last 2 weeks. And like I said earlier, when the world doesn't believe in you, when your own fans don't believe in you, that's when teams rally together. It's going to be like, oh, they don't believe in us. They're all writing us off. Well, guess what? We ain't writing back. Mm-hmm. We're going to go out there and we're going to win, and we're going to prove the whole world that we could do this. Now, do I think it's possible that the Fins can win? Absolutely. Again, I am not jumping off the bandwagon. I still believe this is a good football team. But for me to sit here and look you in my eyes and tell you that we're going to beat Buffalo after what I just saw the last 2 weeks, I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I think it'll be closer. I think this team's going to rally. And if it's a close win, I do think it might carry a little morale victory back to the locker room. And then we'll go out there and spank up the Packers on Christmas. But I think Tua's going to look better. I think the offense is going to look better. And if Bobby's right and it doesn't snow, it's a possibility that the Dolphins can win. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they are.
And as far as the game plan, I mean, Tua said in his press conference today, towards the end a bunch of times, that he wants to get easy completions, get into the rhythm of the game, and that they can't just take deep shots. Perfect. I think that he's 100% right, because last game it was force. This game, take what the defense gives you, man. I could see our running backs contributing heavily to the pass game out of the backfield. Some checkdowns. There's no shame in the checkdowns. Everyone wanted to call Tua this checkdown quarterback. Somehow he's flipped it on his head, and now all he does is want to throw it deep. Throw the check down, man. Let's get a rhythm going. Let's get some third and manageables, some second and manageables. Move the chains. Control the time of possession. Run the football. What a brilliant idea.
Though.
I know.
That's the problem. We can't run the ball.
But you can't stop.
We can't run the football. The Chargers are one of the worst rush defenses in the league, and we physically could not run the ball against them.
I know. But you can't stop. You can't stop running the ball. You can't just go pass only. It's not going to work. You have to have some sort of balance. It has to happen.
Got another $5 super chat. Thank you, TryHard7, for the $5 donation. Tua better take any check down they give him. Keep the drive alive. Also, if they don't make adjustments for the offense, it's not working. It's over. 100% agree with you.
Totally agree.
100% agree with you. And I think Bobby just alluded to that not even 35 seconds ago, that, yes, he should check down. I think McDaniel needs to call some plays where Tua just sees a couple completions. I truly believe the game plan should be Tua's first 5 passes cannot hit the ground. Whether they're wide receiver screens, check downs, halfback screens, a 2-yard slant, the first 5 passes cannot hit the ground. You cannot go out there on the road in Buffalo and start 1 for 7 or 2 for 12. You cannot have that happen. I don't care how far down the field they are. You cannot go out there and start 2 for 12 because it's going to kill the whole mojo. It's going to kill his confidence. It's going to kill the whole offense.
See, I agree. It's like the old basketball analogy. Sometimes you just got to see the ball go in the hoop. And that's kind of what Tua needs. Get a couple completions. But I don't want that to be the only thing. Like, the shot still has to be there because the Tyreek and Waddle deep threat has to open up that short passing game. So it can't just be all short. You still have to go through your progressions. And if the long pass is there, take the long pass. I'm not saying don't go for the shot. Don't go over the top. Definitely still do that. But when that's not there, we got to move to the next option. We got to keep the drive alive. You're not going to win a cold weather Buffalo game by getting outpossessed 3-1 like we did last time. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have the ability to throw the 60-yard bomb to Waddle on 3rd and 22. It's going to be cold. It might be snowy. It's definitely going to limit these quarterbacks a little bit. So we got to figure out a way to keep this offense on the field, sustaining drives.
Got another super chat. Yo, you guys are killing it. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely killing it. This means so much to the channel. Thank you guys. Lance,
coming from.
First donator ever to the Smoke Show, by the way. Shout out Lance. $5 donation. Bobby, you have brain damage. -20. Hell nah. Gotta say Wegmans. Nice.
Weggies. Shout out Weggies, baby. Let's go.
Weggies is a dump. All right, chat. I got a question for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you still think Tua is the guy for this football team. I see some people saying he's a fraud. I still see some people saying we need a RELAX. Let me know what you guys think about Tua. If you guys think he is the franchise quarterback or not, drop a yes or drop a no. Bobby, I'd like to know what you think.
Absolutely. I think that this is the first year Tua has been with McDaniel. I think by all accounts, we at the beginning of the season started this thing off. And I think that we're kind of on track to somewhat slightly exceed expectations by covering our win total, making it to the playoffs. All these things are still on the table, and it's the first year with Tua and McDaniel together. We've moved the goalposts as the seasons went along. Whether that's fair or unfair, I'm not sure. But the team started succeeding, and we started getting a little crazy, saying Super Bowl this, Super Bowl that, and we slowed it, and we changed what we were going with. I think absolutely you keep those two together. Tua's under contract next year and the year after that with the 5th-year option. So there's no rush. Next year, same thing. McDaniel, Tua, another offseason together.
I think there is a rush, though.
Is there? In what way?
You're going to have to pay more than just Tua. You're going to have to pay Wilkins.
Definitely.
You're going to have to pay Javon. You're going to have to pay Jalen. You're going to have to pay – you're going to have to pay almost everyone again. You're going to have to find another corner unless you get him in the draft. We don't have a first-round draft. Like, our window is 3 from now and 3 years later.
Another thing that's tough is just finding – it's so hard to just say, like, yeah, Tua's not the guy. Let's move on. Move on to what? Yep. Move on to what? You want to draft another quarterback?
And I agree. Now, you see, I asked, do you believe if he's the guy or not?
Yes is my answer to that question.
Yes. Because, look, you're right. And even if you say no to that, you could still be like, well, how are you going to replace him? Like, there's not much better out there than Tua. Now, here's my thing. Yes, he's the quarterback for this football team. But, however, I do have to add this in there. I don't know how you could trust a quarterback if he's not going to show up in these big-time games. And that's why there's so much weight on this Chargers game. And that's why there's going to be so much weight week 17 and week 18 against the Jets, because if he goes out there and he shits the bed against the Patriots and the Jets to get us into playoffs, I don't know how you could say that he is that guy. And on the flip side, if he goes out there and he balls, then you know that you have the guy. I believe he's our quarterback. And like you said, it's not easy to just, he's had 2 bad games. Let's just move off of him and try to find someone else. Well, let me know where you're going to find someone. Good luck trying to get Lamar, because they're probably going to franchise tag him. We don't have a first-round draft pick. You can't just replace him. And I don't even know if I want to go out there and replace it, because this is the best he's ever played. And he's had 2 dog shit. And I want to make that very clear. He has been absolute horse shit the last 2 weeks. But I'm not going to sit here and flip and say he's not our franchise quarterback anymore until the season's done, because you made a great point, Bobby. When the schedule came out, I said 10-7. I believe you said 11-6.
I did, yes.
Goal was to make and win a playoff game. But what do we do? What every other fan does, what we're supposed to do. Get caught in the moment, 8-3, 5-game heater, number 1 offense in the league. Your quarterback is first in QBR. He's second in MVP voting. What else are you going to do? You have Tyreek Hill, who was almost going to win Offensive Player of the Year. It really did feel like this team could have went to the Super Bowl. Maybe we had a little bit of a reality check. But I still think Tua's the best guy that we've had since literally Chad Pennington. So it's not like quarterbacks come easy here. That's what I'm saying. It's not an easy thing. So I believe he is the guy. But if he goes out there and he shits the bed down this stretch, you could kiss my ass with QBR and accuracy percentage and touchdown you could kiss my ass with all that, bro. If you can't go out there and win the big games, you can't be a franchise quarterback. And we're going to find that out because 2020, it was the Raiders game where he had to get benched and Fitzpatrick came in, followed up by the Bills game. And then 2021, it was the Titans game. And now it's 2022, and he's already started off with the Niners and Chargers. Now, those games weren't to guarantee playoff spots. That's where week 17 and 18 against the Patriots and the Jets comes in. If he balls out there and he gets us in and he wins us a playoff game, I am more than happy. But if we come down to that stretch and it's Patriots versus Jets and he looks like shit, save me the excuses. Like, that's 3 years in a row where that would have happened. I believe that he's going to overcome that. I truly believe he's going to be the guy that get us in the playoff and win us a game. That's just where I'm at right now because I haven't seen better, like I said, since Chad Pennington. So I don't think that you could just take everything else that he's done this year, throw it out the window and say, yeah, no, he's not the guy. Again, he's played like absolute dog shit for the last 2 weeks, but I got to play it out and see it through before I just hop off this bandwagon.
And I agree. I think time will tell all because I don't think that I'm rushing to throw to a mega max extension after this year. I'd love to see how he finishes out, like you just said. I'd love to see him play next year because we've seen what Tua can be. We've seen the ceiling, and maybe the ceiling can get even higher. But we've seen how good it can be. Now we need to see it in December, playoffs, when it counts the most. And when he can keep checking boxes off, that's when we will officially 100% know we got a guy.
Yep.
Try hard 7.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. Yo, you guys are absolutely killing it today. Thank you guys so much. I was at the Chargers game. Fan turnout was amazing. Never heard the crowd turn on the team. Always kept cheering. Toxicity comes from social media. Yeah, 100%. Bingo. And when you're at the game, it's just different. You know, like even when we were at the Steelers game, I mean, we were looking at each other like, oh, fuck, shit's not looking too good. But we're still getting hyped and fired up and cheering for the team and blah, 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 blah. But I also, I get it. You know, like, of course, the crowd's going to be dialed in and they always kept cheering because they still thought they were in the game. You know, I was still at the edge of my seat. I didn't think we deserved to be in the game, but we were. Mm-hmm. But then after you rewatch the game 2 to 3 times and you're just like, this team look like shit, you know, and it is what it is. Like, if people want to pull out receipts on other people when the team's winning, what do you think they're going to do when they start losing? It's going to go both ways, but that's social media for you.
We just said the same thing.
Shout out Patrick. You're killing it today, brother. Thank you so much. Tua undecided. The worry is the take by Ben Solak and others that he's superhuman throwing to a spot early. The issue is and always has been post-progression reads. It's all about the first read pre-snap.
Yeah, I see his point. Tua is a window thrower. He likes to know where his receiver is going to be, have that timing hit the window, and then you saw the Chargers and Niners go jam the receivers up, ruined the timing, and those same windows weren't there. So that's 100% something he has to adjust and get better with. I have the confidence he can do it, but it has to get better. I agree. I think that's a fair criticism.
I think he gets through. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to word this without it sounding contradicting. He just doesn't look comfortable getting through his reads. You know, I've seen him get through them, but it's just like the hitching and the padding on the ball. That's just the last 2 weeks. Now, before, I've seen him go through 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's been smooth. But these last 2 weeks, it's like if his first guy's not there, it almost looks like the panic button's going off, and that worries me because that's what old Tua did. And that was why Tua looked so much better this year is because on his drop back, it looks so smooth. It's 1, 2, 3. He's going through 1, 2, 3, and 4 guys. and then he's hitting his back foot and he's letting it off, and he was just seeing the field so perfectly. And now all of a sudden, they start jamming him up on the line, and the first read's not there, and his second read's still not off the press, and then it's panic mode. And I think that's what we've seen a lot the last 2 weeks, because you watch Justin Herbert, and the only reason why Herbert looks so amazing is because when his first two guys weren't there, he's stepping up in the pocket, avoiding the rush, boom, hit the check down 10 yards, boom, hit this guy for 5 yards, boom, scramble away, avoid a sack, save 10 yards. That's why Herbert looked so good that game. It wasn't because he hit Mike Will on a 51-yard pass across the field. A gorgeous throw, but that's not why I thought Herbert was him that night. I thought he was him because he was just avoiding the rush. He was calm and composed under pressure. And Tua, the last 2 weeks, he's been frantic.
I think confidence is a huge thing for Tua, man, because when he's playing confident football, you see what he's doing, bro. He's smooth, clean, reads, out, touchdown, dance with my boys. But then when it gets a little tight and it gets a little iffy, he's not playing with that same swagger, that same confidence. You're right. He sits back there. He's got a little happy feet. He pats the ball. It's almost like he's forcing it. But when he plays loose and free, this guy is freaking legit. It's just that confidence factor, which worries me a little. He's got to get better with it. And it's definitely a fact. Look at what Mike McDaniel did to make this guy better. He put a fucking 700-play montage to say, look it, you're good, you're good. So a lot of that comes upstairs with Tua. He has to believe in himself, believe in his talents, make the reads, make the throws, move on. I think 100%. He can do it.
Shout out King Dolphin. Yo, you guys are killing it today. Thank you. Tua hasn't proved it yet. We have no picks or money, so even if he's not the guy, we're stuck for 2 to 3 years. To me, I want to move on 3 years, same things. I agree. Well, I don't want to say he hasn't. I mean, honestly, no, he hasn't proved it. He did prove it until the last 2 weeks, but you got to see the full body of work. You got to see it play out. But even if he shits the bed, I think you're right that we are stuck with him. And that could be a good thing if he goes out there and balls, which I think he will. I'll gladly be stuck with him, and I'll gladly pay him. But if he shits the bed, if he goes out there and does what he did the last 2 weeks, we are stuck with him. You're right. We don't have draft picks. We don't have money. That's what Bobby was saying earlier. I'm even going to move off of him if you want. You can't. You can't. That's why that Watson thing was so crazy. By the way, that was a blessing that we didn't end up doing that. But
right.
It's just like you hear young quarterbacks that just want to be shipped, and you're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. And you're right. Like the whole Tua insurance policy, we were laughing at that. We said, give that shit up right now for Chubb. Give us Chubb. Tua's the guy. Mm-hmm. That was literally 3 weeks ago. So I'm not ready to say I want to move on, because I don't. I want to see how this thing works out and plays out, and we'll take it from there. But you are right. Whether he balls out or not, he's going to be the quarterback here for the next 2 to 3 years, 100%.
2 years. 2 years. He's under contract
at
for
least
2 more years.
Yep.
Stuck with him for 2 more years. Anything past that means we paid him. You know what I mean? So he's the Dolphins quarterback for 2 years. Anything more than that would mean we believed in him and paid him, which
would you even want this?
No.
I wouldn't want that. I would not want Aaron. And it's crazy, but like I just don't believe Aaron Rodgers gives a fuck about football. I'd rather Brady than Rodgers. Now, look, again, I don't need this to get clipped and put on Twitter and saying I want Tua over both of these guys. But if I had to pick, not even for the Dolphins, just in general, I would pick 50-year-old Tom Brady over Rodgers, because you see the mic'd up video of Tom. He's over there screaming in guys' faces like, you're going to just let them fight harder than us, or you just want to roll over and quit? Because we can quit, or we can just get like, I love the way Tom leads. Like, I know we hate Tom, but he is the ultimate leader for me.
I don't hate Tom.
He's the best. Like, he is the best. The fact, now that he's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I love him. Like, if he was drafted to the Dolphins, I'd probably have his fucking jersey number tattooed on my fucking ass.
Seriously.
Pause. But like, he's the ultimate competitor. Like, that's what you want in a quarterback. And I just think Aaron Rodgers wants to do drugs and go on podcasts, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, give me TB every day. Every day.
Bro, you guys are killing it today, man.
Whoa,
Thank
Brazil.
You so much. Shout out Marcos. Is that what that means? That R? Or is that his name?
Read the chat.
Waddle is injured and is like a decoy on. I can't read. Waddle is injured and is like a decoy on the field. Greetings from Brazil.
We got some Brazilian fans. That's awesome, bro. Let's go.
Sir. Sorry about the World Cup. Sorry, I hate to remind you about that, but I don't know. I was telling Bobby about that the other day. Like, what happened to fucking Waddle? I have no idea what's going on.
He's not on the injury report.
I think when he caught that one pass, Chris Collinsworth said, "Oh, there's Jalen Waddle." We haven't said his name much. I was like, dude, they haven't said his name much in like 3 weeks.
Dude, I had a feeling that I kind of had that same feeling that Waddle's playing hurt right now. Something's wrong. He's not the same old Waddle. But then you look at the injury report, and he's not even on there. He's not even questionable, limited. And that means he's not getting treatment on anything. Because if you're getting treatment, you're on the injury report. So he's healthy. He's a number one guy, one of the number one guys in my mind. Step up. Waddle, we need you, baby. We need you to step up because you've been MIA for 2 straight weeks. It can't be Tyreek this, Tyreek that, especially when the Cheetah's got a bad paw now. Cheetah's got a little bit of a bad paw. You need Waddle.
I was about to say, are you worried about the sprained paw? I'm actually petrified of that because I have him in fantasy. I'm on a bye week this week, but I am petrified because if I lose him, I would lose him and Cooper Kupp. And that team is loaded. I had Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, Mark Andrews, and T. Higgins. And like my whole team is just absolutely banged up to a T.
Yeah, that's brutal. But I think Tyreek will be all right, bro. He played that whole rest of the game. He gritted it out. He's tough. He wants to be out there. Don't mistake that. Like that guy is a competitor to the 10th degree. So I think he'll be fine. I mean, a 90-80% Tyreek Hill is still better than 90% of the receivers in the NFL. So as long as we got the Cheetah out there, he'll be all right. We'll be fine.
Shout out King Dolphin. You were absolutely blessed.
Y'all
chat.
going
Thank you guys
crazy
so
today.
much. You guys are freaking killing it today. Hot take: if Tua never played for Alabama, would he have been drafted top 10? Because all Alabama quarterbacks look good because the whole team is elite. Just a thought. I don't know what you want me to say to that.
Yeah,
like if he went to USC, do I think he'd be top 10? I don't know. All I know is he was everyone. It was tank for Tua until Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers and Coach O went out there and won the net and won the Heisman, won the Natty, and Tua popped his hip out of his socket. But yes, he would have been top 10 no matter what. Now, if he went to a different school, who knows? I have absolutely no idea. But I do know everyone, it was all tank for Tua, tank for Tua, tank for Tua, tank for Tua. So yes, I think he would have been top 5 or top 10, top 5.
Probably. It's so hard. It's so many moving factors there. But I mean, if you look at what he did in college, the kid was a stud. There was a reason people were screaming tank for Tua. So I don't know.
With what you know now, if you were to redo the 2020 draft, how would you rank the quarterback class? Where would you put Tua? That's Burrow, Herbert, Tua, Hurts. Those are just that's so the class. Tough. I want to hear your order.
I think you unfortunately would have to put Tua 4th. I think it would go. I don't know who's 1. I don't know who I take at 1. That's the hard part for me right now. Hurts is an MVP.
Is Hurts up there at 1 for you now?
I don't think he can be 1. But man, I'm gonna go.
I can't pick between Burrow or Herbert.
I'm going Burrow, Herbert, Hurts, and Hurts just because I need to see it more. I need to see a little more from Hurts. This year has been tremendous.
The only reason why I put Burrow above Herbert is because he has that weird fucking it factor. He's got like that Tom Brady gene, where it's just somehow, some way he's gonna win the fucking game. Like he'll go toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. He can't do half the shit that Mahomes does, but he'll win the fucking game
3 times.
He'll be 10-7, sneak into playoffs, and then they'll be the team that gets in the Super. Like he's got that weird it factor.
Yeah,
I think it would go Burrow, Herbert. I don't know. I can't not say Hurts right now. Like he's playing unbelievable, and he's so accurate with the football right now. I think if you asked me that 3 weeks ago, I'd probably put Tua ahead of Hurts, but
you might have put Tua in front of everybody 4 weeks ago.
Hurts is just on another fucking level right now, man.
Yeah, he's playing great ball.
Yo, another super chat. You guys are killing it today, man.
Baby.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Release the beast Easy-E in Buffalo if Waddle is hurt. Him and Sherfield can hold it down. I don't think so.
Disappointing.
Probably a reason why he hasn't dressed all year, and it's probably because he's ass. I mean, he may plays in the preseason, or maybe he just still doesn't know the playbook fucking 18 weeks into the season. I don't know.
He was lit in the preseason, bro. I thought we had another stud we were going to add to the repertoire, another 3rd, 4th receiver, but that doesn't come to fruition. Kid's young. He's got time. Let him develop. Maybe we got something on our hands, but right now, I don't think it's the Easy E is going to be the X factor in Buffalo. That'd be
I don't think
legendary.
so either.
Imagine if he did and he had like 200 and a touch. That'd be crazy. It would be crazy.
Shout out Hunter for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. There is a big difference between pre-hip and post-hip Tua. Well, we drafted post-hip Tua, so I don't know what I can say to that.
Yeah, we also never saw post-hip Tua play college football. It's two different. We're comparing a college and an NFL quarterback. A lot different. Big step up in competition there. Big step up.
There was a comment in here that I thought was a good talking point. I lost my train of thought. No. Oh, yeah, this is what it was. Skylar Thompson. He could be the guy next year. No, I'm not buying that one. I was about it. I was about it in the preseason, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm about it. I thought he looked good the one drive he had against the Vikings, but then I don't know what the hell he did against the Niners. And then apparently if Teddy's healthy, Teddy's the backup. I don't know. I'm good on Tua. I think I'd rather stick with Tua than Skylar.
My goal for Skylar Thompson is to be the best backup quarterback in the NFL next year. I think that's his ceiling. I don't think he's a starter. I think we've seen he's not a starter. Let the kid keep developing. We're going to need a backup. We all know Tua's injury history has not been great. So a backup in Miami is very valuable. And if Skylar can turn into that guy, I think you won. You did perfect there. So we'll see. Who knows, though? Maybe the kid goes out and balls. I'll never count him out. I'll root for him. But what I've seen so far, you're not that guy, pal.
Not that guy, pal. I agree. All right, well, we got 110 people watching live. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Both of those things are free. It's only going to help this channel grow. It's going to bring more people into your community, which is our community. It's getting in front of more Dolphin fans, and the only way that we can continue to grow is with your guys' love and support. So please hit the like button, subscribe. And if you want to donate to the channel, you can Cash App or Venmo us, or just super chat us like you have been.
You know what I'm a little worried about, Smoke, is Jeff Wilson Jr. Because this is the type of game, cold weather, divisional game. This is Jeff Wilson's running style, bro. He's a bad motherfucker. He'll run right through your face. And Mostert's not that same guy. He's a speed. He gets his yards off making people miss and being fast. And I don't know if that's what it's going to be in Buffalo. So I'm really hoping that Jeff Wilson can get back for this one. We need him desperately, especially if we're going to try and get this run game going, because I'm not the most confident in a Raheem Mostert, Savon Ahmed, Myles Gaskin backfield. So my fingers are crossed on Jeff Wilson Jr. big time.
There you go. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for today. I thought today was an absolutely amazing show. Shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys absolutely blew it up. Shout out to everyone that donated. I mean, we must have like 15 to 20 donations. That was outstanding. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below. And if you guys think we're going to win at Buffalo, let me know in the comments, not the chat. I love when the chat's blown up. Let me know in the comments if you think we're going to win or if we're going to lose against Buffalo. Again, we are so blessed and so thankful to have you guys each and every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 5 to 6. Bobby put his finger up. What do you have to say for the people?
That Friday we will probably be at a different time because this dork next to me is graduating college. Congratulations to him, dork ass. But we're going to be on a different time. So peep the Twitters, get the notification, hit that bell. That way you just get the noti when we go live, baby.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. It's probably going to be Friday morning. We will have you fired up for work on Friday morning. Again, we love you guys so much. We'll see you on Friday at maybe 9 or 10 a.m. We'll figure it out.
Get your coffee, put some whiskey in it. Pins up. Appreciate the chat. Y'all were goats today.